Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. As I promised in my first video, where I showcased a deck profile of my 20-0 Drytron deck, I'm going to be delivering a combo video, as well as sort of like a tutorial on how these cards work, and then I'll be showing some replays after that to sort of like reinforce the combos that we learned. So the first combo I'm going to be starting out with is Alpha plus Zeta. I'm gonna first explain a little bit what these cards do. So every Drytron monster has an effect where you can tribute another Drytron or ritual monster from your hand and special summon it. And then they have a secondary effect where that will trigger, and in the case of Alpha, it will add a ritual monster as a secondary effect, and Zeta will add a ritual spell. So the way we're going to start out this combo is we're going to go Alpha, tribute Zeta from hand, and then Alpha effect to add a ritual monster. So we're going to add Benten. And another important thing to know is that these Drytron cards can activate from grave in addition to hand. So we can activate Zeta from grave, tribute our ritual monster in this case. To summon Zeta, we have Zeta effect to add a ritual spell, and then Benten effect will trigger to add a light fairy. When Benten is tributed, you can add a light fairy from your deck to your hand. In this case, we're going to add Diviner. Then we are going to overlay for Mu Beta Fafnir. Mu Beta has a summon effect where you can send a Drytron card from your deck to the graveyard. So we're going to use Mu Beta to send Gamma. Use Diviner, and then we're going to send our Herald of Arclight. Herald of Arclight will trigger to add a ritual card from our deck to our hand, and we're going to select Benten. Then we are going to ritual summon our Benten from grave. Mu Beta Fafnir has another effect where you can detach a material as tribute for the ritual summon. So we're going to attach Alpha for the tribute of the ritual summon. It's also important to note that with this this ritual card, you can only use machine monsters as tribute for the ritual summon. So don't be trying to use like fairies or anything for that. So we're going to go into Beatrice, activate Beatrice, detach Diviner. I think it's not super important, but it's pretty important to know what material to detach. If we plan on sending Eva, we want to detach the Diviner because we don't mind Diviner getting banished. As you're going to see, Eva will be able to banish too. If we detached our Benten, we would have to banish our Benten, which is not ideal. This way, we can just banish a card that we don't really care about. So now, as you recall before, I sent Gamma off of Mu Beta, so I'm going to activate Gamma's effect, tributing Benten. Gamma, his secondary effect is to special summon a Drytron monster from your graveyard, so I'm going to special summon Alpha. And as we know before, when Benten is tributed, his effect will trigger, so Benten effect. And we're going to add our ultimateness. Our ritual card has a secondary effect to target a Drytron monster, reduces attack by 1,000, and then we can add it back to our hand from our graveyard. So we're going to target Gamma. And then we can go ahead and ritual summon our ultimateness using Mu Beta Fafnir as tribute. And then we can use our two Drytron monsters here to go into Masquerena. And this is our end board. On our opponent's standby phase, we're going to detach Beatrice again, send Eva, and add 2 more fairies. So we'll basically have 4 Omni Negates with Herald of Ultimateness, and we'll also have a Link summon our opponent's turn using Masquerena. And that is our first combo. Alright, on to the second combo. And this is the reason why we run 2 ritual spells, because basically, if you don't run 2 ritual spells, you're stuck with 1 less fairy, whereas if you do run a second one, you can actually get 1 more Benten summon, and basically transform that into a guaranteed light fairy, which is an Omni Negate. So this is going to showcase why we run the second ritual spell, and I'll go ahead and showcase the full combo with 2 ritual spells. So first we're going to activate Alpha, attributing Benten. Alpha effect to add a Benten to our hand. And then we're going to get a Benten effect to add Diviner. And then we're going to go normal summon Diviner. We're going to send our Herald of Arclight to the graveyard. Herald of Arclight effect to add a ritual spell. We're then going to ritual summon our Benten from the graveyard using Alpha as tribute. We're then going to go ahead and make Beatrice. Activate Beatrice effect. Detach Benten this time because we don't plan on sending Eva. We're actually going to send Gamma so that we can then activate Gamma's effect, tributing the Benten. Gamma will trigger. We'll summon Alpha from grave. Then Benten will trigger. And we will add a Ultimatus to our hand. Then we can add back our ritual spell, targeting Gamma. Here, we can make Mu Beta Fafnir. And this is where the extra ritual spell comes into play. So here we can actually send Zeta, then first ritual summon back our Benten from grave. And then we can basically use Zeta effect. So what we would have done there if we only read 1 ritual spell is probably sent like a Delta or something and then gotten a draw. So instead of a random draw, we basically transformed that into a Benten search, which gives us a negate in the form of a light fairy. And we do have Beatrice effect the next turn, so we don't really want to add Eva. It's probably best to add like Natasha. And now that we've done that, now we can ritual summon our Ultimateness with the second ritual spell. And we're gonna go from here into our Masquerena. And you can see this is a pretty similar board to the last one we had. We have less light fairies because we were unable to send Eva off of our Beatrice. We need to send Gamma to extend our combo into Mu Beta Fafnir. So this combo is a little worse than the first one, but we still have 3 Omni Negates because we were able to successfully get a guaranteed light fairy to our hand because we run 2 ritual spells. And we also have a Masquerena on their turn as well. All right, welcome to the third combo. So this is basically the same as Alpha Zeta, but this is basically going to showcase why we run Link Rebo. So here, if we didn't run Link Rebo, so we get Alpha here. And the problem is that if we don't run Link Rebo, we actually have to tribute Alpha for Zeta, add the ritual spell, and then Zeta for Alpha, and we add 1 ritual monster. And that's not going to really net us that much. We want to be able to tribute our Benten with Zeta, which we're going to get off Alpha. So the way we do that is we need to get this Alpha off the field. So we're gonna link Karibo. That way we can use Alpha first, tribute Zeta, Alpha effect, search Benten. And now you're going to see it's exactly like opening Alpha plus Zeta. We just have a Link Creep on our board. So you're going to see we're going to make the same exact play. Zeta, add ritual spell, Benten effect, add diviner, right? And we're going to go into our move bait. We're going to do the same thing we did in the first combo that I showed you guys. It's also important to note, don't make the mistake of taking up we want to leave the spot right here open for Link Rebo for a Link summon. So don't make the mistake of taking up the spot with a monster that you care about, because we don't want to have to link off our Beatrice or something like that. So make sure you summon your Ultimatus and your Beatrice in different monster zones, because otherwise you won't be able to go into your Masquerena like we did in that first combo. Alright guys, welcome to our last combo that we will be showcasing. So as I discussed in the deck profile, we run 2 Gamma because Alpha Gamma is full combo, and I'm about to show you how. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go Alpha, Tribute Gamma, Alpha Effect, we're going to search Benten. Then we're going to link, Rebo off our Alpha. Then we're going to do Gamma Effect from Grave, Tribute Benten, Gamma. We're going to summon Alpha from Grave. Then we're going to get Benten Effect Trigger to add Diviner. We're then going to overlay these 2 into our Mu Beta Fafnir. Mu Beta Effect to send a Drytron monster to our grave, or Drytron card to our grave. And we're going to send Zeta here. This is how we're going to get access to the ritual spell this turn. So we're going to actually use Diviner to send Herald of Arclight. Herald of Arclight effect to add a Benten. We're then going to activate Zeta from Grave, tributing Benten. Zeta effect to add the ritual spell from our deck to our hand. And then Benten effect to add Ultimateness. We're then going to ritual summon out our Benten from Grave using a material from our Mu Beta Fafnir. And then we're going to summon our Beatrice. Beatrice effect to send Eva to our grave, because we're gonna get the gates. And notice how we detach the Diviner here, because we plan on sending Eva. This way we can banish our Diviner and our Herald of Arclight, get our 2 searches, our 2 fairies for our Omni Negates. We're then going to use our ritual spell effect, target our Zeta, add back the ritual spell to our hand. Then we're going to summon Ultimateness. And as I discussed in the last combo, notice how I left this monster zone not necessarily available, but I plan to use this to make Masquerena. So now we're going to go into Masquerena using these 2. And our link zone's available. So we have Link Rebo plus Masquerena plus Beatrice plus Ultimateness, and we have 2 Omni Negates. We're gonna send Beatrice. We're gonna send Eva with Beatrice on their standby phase to grab 2 more. And as you can see, Alpha plus Gamma is full combo, which is why we run 2 Gamma. It's not actually a brick. And yeah, this is gonna conclude the combo section of the video. And we're gonna go and hop over to Master Duel and look at some replays. Alright, I've just hopped back onto Master Duel, and I'm gonna be showing you guys 2 replays, kind of showcasing the combos in action, and sort of applying that knowledge that we just learned in the combos part of this video. I won't be showing any replays of me going first, because going first with this deck is basically an auto win unless your opponent opens like a lot of hand traps or you brick. But I will be showing me going second into some pretty impressive boards that my opponent was able to make, and kind of and I also want to showcase the power level of Forbidden Droplets as a card. You're gonna see how much easier it is in one of these games for me to break their board with Forbidden Droplet versus without. So the first replay, I think, is this one. Apparently we can't play it from here. Good to know. I think I saved it. 1 second. So we'll hop in here. Okay, I believe this is the one. So this game my opponent was playing Tri-Brigades, And they opened up with a pretty impressive turn 1 board. Unfortunately, I didn't draw any hand traps. So they're just playing solitaire. My hand is pretty good going second. I have like pretty good resources. I have like Gamma, Benten, I have a Drytron name. If I'm able to search out Herald Orange Light, I have good discard target for Herald Orange Light to play around any monster effects. So we're just watching this guy combo off right now. And then once it gets to my turn, I'll kind of explain my thought process and how I went about breaking his board. So I know he's gonna get he's gonna get his Tri-Brigade Revolt. So basically, here are the things that I need to play around. So let me draw for turn. This is actually a really good draw. So here are the things I need to play around. I know he's got 3 monster negates in the form of Appaloosa. I know he's got he can bounce my cards by sending cards from his side of the field to the grave. So realistically, he probably has like anywhere from 1 to 2 bounces, depending on if he's exhausted all of Appaloosa's negates. And I also know that he's got a Tri-Brigade Revolt set, which he can, he does have access to 4 Tri-Brigade monsters that he can use to link into the Link 4, which is a non-targeting banish. So those are the effects that I need to play on this turn. So my thought process here is I want to bait out the Appaloosa effect. I have all the cards I need in my hand. I really don't need the Alpha effect to search a ritual monster. So I'm going to start with Alpha, and he should negate this. Alpha is like the best card in the deck. He can't possibly know what's in my hand. So that's 1 Appaloosa negate down. I plan on with Benten adding Herald of Orange Light. So if he doesn't negate this, it's actually pretty bad for him. Unfortunately for us, he does negate that as well. So my plan now, I don't actually need a Zeta here. A random card would be a lot better, more impactful than a second ritual spell. I actually hard drew into the ritual spell, so I don't need Zeta here. So now I'm going to activate Delta. Here he negates my Delta. I think this is actually a misplay on his part. I think he should hold his negate for something more impactful, but you know, it is what it is. So he negates my Delta, denies me the ability to summon and draw a card. Now my plan is to ritual summon back the Benten so that I can tribute it for a Gamma and get an additional search and add Herald of Orange Light. My goal is to get access to Herald of Orange Light. I know he's out of monster negates. He's got a banish. He could banish my Benten here, but I held the Alpha in hand for Gamma. So what he chooses to do is bounce my my Benten using Ancient Warriors, and actually it's not the worst play ever. I mean, I can technically attack over this, so it's technically forced that he either has to banish it or bounce it. I think his best play would have been to banish, and then if, like, for example, I go Gamma, tribute Alpha, and summon, he can wait for me to make the XYZ, which I wouldn't, obviously. I would go into battle phase and make him, you know, bounce 2k beater. But I think that would have been a slightly better line of play from him. But anyways, I digress. So we're going to go Gamma, tribute Benten from hand now. Honor Herald of Orange Light. Here we target to recur back a ritual spell. Again, I think my opponent misplays here. I think if he chained this card to bounce my Gamma, my ritual spell wouldn't have actually resolved. I need this card to stay in the field for me to add it back to my hand, because reducing this card's attack is a cost. So if he had bounced this card, I wouldn't have actually had access to ritual summon again. Instead, he chooses to banish my 2k beater. I guess so that I can't attack over this. So he banishes this, and he does play this quite well. He makes sure he makes sure that this isn't chain link 3. So he can actually choose how he wants to chain all his effects together. If he had made this chain link 3, then I can actually negate with Herald of Orange Light. So he makes sure not to do that. So he's gonna go plus 1,000,000 with this card because that card's insanely good. So my plan has now changed. I don't plan on Herald of Orange and lighting this card anymore. I don't need to. If he bounces my Benten, then great. I just need to make sure that he can't kill me next turn. And I know he added the kit. If I can, he's gonna have to normal summon that kit unless he draws. If he draws the what is it, Karos for turn, then I can simply Herald of Orange Light, Eva, banish 2 to get second Herald of Orange Light negate. So my plan right now is just to simply negate his Tri-Brigade card next turn, so that he has no line of play next turn. You'll see this works out pretty well. So I'm gonna go into battle. For some reason he tributes this card to protect this guy. I'm not really sure why. Yeah. So basically now, what I need to do is go into Link Rebo. I need this card to stay on my field so that I have follow-up for next turn. So I'm going to make Link Rebo so if he tries to beat over Benten, I can simply Link Rebo it. I know he's got this kit in hand. I'm going to wait for him to pay the cost of banishing, and then I'm going to simply Herald Orange Light, and his turn's over. He normal summoned. So, yeah. Even if he drew... Yeah, he drew Ash Blossom to negate my Eva. Doesn't matter. As long as my Benten stays on the board, then I have play next turn. So I have my Link Rebo, keep my Benten safe. So we're gonna, he adds this, it's not really relevant. We're gonna Link Rebo's card. And here it's pretty self-explanatory. We basically have like the Alpha Benten combo that I discussed earlier with Benten on the field and Alpha on grave. It's essentially the same thing. And we have access to our Gamma already. So our plan is, yeah, our plan is just to break his board. And as I discussed in my deck profile, the best way to OTK someone is with Natasha and Borrelsword. So you're going to see me implement that here. And I don't think he actually even gives me the opportunity to OTK him, rather. He knows I have Natasha in hand. It's like clearly game, so he just surrenders. Alright. On to the next replay. This, I believe, is actually a mirror match. He is playing Drytrons. However, he is playing the Herald of Perfection build, which I don't advocate because it forces you to run some brick cards in your deck that makes your deck less consistent. I don't think the advantages you get from being able to run cards like pre-prep make it worth it. So here again, I draw no hand traps, which is really bad going second. So this guy is just playing solitaire. He drew the absolute nuts. Here, I thought he actually misplayed because he tributed Alpha for Zeta first. And remember, we talked about we want to use Alpha effect and then Zeta. But he actually didn't misplay. He just hard drew the Benten, as you see here. So I'm going to fast forward through this. This is a pretty long combo. He drew really, really, really well. Like I said, he's playing the Herald of Perfection build. Nice little royal finish Herald of Perfection there. Kudos to him. This is actually his 4th summon. So he plays around Nibiru quite well. If he had, for example, overlaid these two into Mu Beta first and then summon this, Nibiru would have been live. But now he's gonna search out with Benten and get some fairies to his hand. So when he does summon for his 5th time, he'll be able to negate Nibiru. And here, what I'm doing is I'm keeping a mental note of how many fairies he has in his hand, how many negates I need to play around. And it's not looking good, honestly. Like, he's going to have around 6 negates for my next turn after he sends Eva this turn with Beatrice, and then does the same thing on my turn. So I don't, at this point, I'm not thinking I'm going to be able to play into this board very well. But you're going to see the card that I draw is going to be easily the best card that I could draw in my deck. I draw the Forbidden Droplets here. And what a lot of players would do is they would just immediately activate Forbidden Droplets and negate Herald of Perfection and Beatrice. And that's actually not the right play. So I know he has 2 Herald of Orange Light in hand as well as 2 fairies. Excuse me. So what I actually need to do is I need to bait out Herald of Perfection to discard a fairy, right? So that way he only has 1 Herald of Orange Light that can resolve on my turn. Because you have to remember that even if I negate this card and this card, he still has he still would have 2 monster negates, which I can't really. I could play around theoretically, but it makes the game a lot harder. So why try and play around it when I can make him discard a fairy and only have to play around 1 monster negate? So there he goes. He discards one of his fairies. Now I know he has double Herald of Orange Light plus 1 fairy. So I chain droplets here. I discard I send my 2 Drytrons to the grave because it doesn't matter if they're in hand or grave. And I negate his Beatrice. And obviously his Perfection Beatrice so that he can't send Eva and get access to another monster negate. And you're going to see here how I play into this board. I have Alpha Benten combo. He's going to negate this. Fair, but in some reason he decides to activate that because he forgot it was negated. But Benten's going to resolve here. And Benten can add Benten. Benten is not a balanced card. And this is how we get to my ritual spell. Benten effect again to add another Benten. His deck is just like absolutely insane. I'm going for the second ritual spell here because I need as much gas as I can get to break this board. And you're gonna see that being able to ritual summon 3 times. Running both the ritual spells actually comes up on this turn. So here I'm thinking that I just, the best way to do this is just to resolve Natasha as many times as possible. You get rid of 1 to overlay into Beatrice. And with Beatrice, I'm gonna send Eva. I didn't need, I already had access to Zeta, Gamma, and Alpha, so I didn't need to send a Drytron here because I'm going to send Delta off of Mubeta Fafnir here. So this just makes the most sense. Play around like some crazy hand trap maybe that he has, or as you're going to see, play around this card. So here I'm obviously going to ritual summon Natasha. This card's absolutely broken. You're going to see me resolve it twice this turn. I'm going to start by stealing his Mubeta Fafnir so that I can actually use its detach effect this turn. Go into Masquerena to make room, and then I'm going to ritual summon Benten using his Mubeta Fafnir's detach effect. Summon Benten, then link those cards into Boral Sword. I can then resolve Natasha again. And I've calculated, even if he doesn't detach this card, and I don't get to Herald of Orange Light it, let's say, because you're going to see I chain Herald of Orange Light to destroy it. Forbidden Droplet is game anyways. And yeah, this is actually game, like, so Boral Sword is going to, you notice I bait out the Link Turbo effect with Natasha. Boral Sword's going to gain attack from attacking Beatrice. I sent my Natasha to defense position so that I can attack again with Boral Sword. And And you're going to see this is 125 life point overkill. And yeah, I think that really shows the power for Bent Droplet, because this opponent's board, he had more Omni negates. He had 6 Omni negates if I hadn't drawn Forbidden Droplet. Whereas the previous opponent who opened Appaloosa, he had 3 Monster Fight negates, a Banish, and then like a Bounce. So, you know, in theory, this board was a lot stronger, but you can see the power of Forbidden Droplet with, you know, that card. I was actually able to not only break his board, but OTK him through it. Which is why we run Forbidden Droplet. It's such a powerful card. But yeah, guys, that's going to conclude the video. I hope you guys learned a lot. And feel free to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions. I'm open to any feedback. I'm still very new to this, and I'll see you guys.